Hello and welcome to another video. In this one we're going to be talking about generators. I've actually done a bunch of videos on generators before, so I will try and remember to link them in the description. If not, you can search YouTube for Anthony Writes Code Generator and you'll find those videos. The title of this video is How to Make an Empty Generator, and I guess the weird quirks around doing so. And hopefully you'll learn something as well about how Python makes functions exist and how a function is or isn't a generator. But anyway, let's jump into it. Okay, so first, I guess the question is, why would you want to make an empty generator? And I can think of a few reasons. One is, one use case that I've had in the past is I have a function that sometimes wants to yield a bunch of things, but sometimes in some exceptional case wants to do nothing. Just return essentially the no-op function, but for a generator. If you loop over it, it doesn't loop at all. If you turn it into a list, you get an empty list, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's kind of like my mental model on why you would want a generator. It's kind of the base case of it. But anyway, let's jump into it. So let's open up Python. And so if you want to make a basic function that does nothing, you can just do def fpass. And if you call this function, it will do nothing. It will implicitly return none, and we can actually see that by doing dis.dis on f. Load const none, return value. Don't worry about the bytecode, but it's implicitly returned none. So making a trivial function in Python is very, very straightforward. But what about making a trivial generator? Now, my first guess at this, before I knew better, a long time ago, was just a generator that had yield in it. And if you call this, you get a generator. Cool, great. But unfortunately, if you are to exhaust this generator, it actually gives you a single value back. So instead of being an empty generator, this is a one array generator that always yields none. And so how do you make a function a generator that yields nothing? And there's actually a couple ways to do this, and I'll show you the first one that I had seen many, many times, even all the way back to Python 2 days, which is to take our generator function that we had before. We still have to have yield in it, and spoilers later on, I'll show you that just containing yield is what turns a function into a generator. But you can just put return yield. And this looks, this when I first saw it, I was scratching my head like, what? Like, if there's a return statement here, obviously all the code after it is dead. But that's just the point here. Having yield in the body turns this function into a generator, and it's never run, so we never yield a value, and that gives us our empty generator. Now if we do gen again, we still get a generator object. If we turn it into a list, we get our empty list. Great, perfect. This is exactly what we wanted, and it works great. Now, I mentioned before that functions that have yield in them turn the function into a generator. And I believe you can actually see that by looking at, oh no, where is it? Is it in the code object? Dang, I don't remember. Oh, CO flags? 99. I don't think that's it though. I want to say that there is some attribute in here. Actually, it probably is those flags, but I don't remember the actual flags here. But somewhere in the code object, it declares that's a generator. Oh, I bet we can look at inspect. Inspect dot is generator function. And so this is true. Okay, cool. So we can look at the code for inspect and find out how it actually works. idoc inspect. Find the module and look for is generator function. And the implementation of that has code flag co-generator. Okay, cool. So I was right. And if we look at has code flag right here, it's .code.co flags, and it looks for this particular flag. So there is a special flag when functions are compiled that makes them generators. Cool. Okay, so I showed you that example. Unfortunately, this generator has one problem. Let's actually assume that we're typing this from collections.abc import generator, new from future import annotations. And this generator is a generator that never yields. So really you can put anything inside of this. I'm going to say none, 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 because it doesn't actually matter what type of generator it is. You might even be able to get away by saying object or any or whatever you want here. And we put that same return yield as before. Let's make a virtual env and install MyPy. Pip install MyPy. And arguably the thing I'm about to show you is a bug in MyPy, but I'm not sure. Actually, no, it might have already gotten fixed. Yeah, because I made an issue about this. This might already be fixed. MyPy used to. Yeah, okay, so it's already fixed. Dang it. Okay. So MyPy used to complain about the reachability of this code here, this yield at the end here, because obviously, return is a terminal statement, so we can't possibly run this code after here. So MyPy used to complain about this. And yeah, actually, now that I think about this, I made the issue and someone else fixed it, so it no longer complains about this in the warn unreachable mode. This mode's actually pretty cool because it helps you find dead code sometimes, although it's pretty buggy just because of the way that it's implemented in MyPy. It doesn't handle a lot of cases, especially if you have try finally. It just, there's tons and tons of bugs around that. I think to actually make it work properly, MyPy would need to have essentially a finite state machine representing the various blocks in code and actually traverse them. Right now it sort of emulates that via recursive descent, but anyway, off topic. There was a workaround in that thread, which I actually really like instead of doing return yield. And that one is to use yield from with an empty collection. And I think, at least to me, when I saw this in code, this makes a lot more sense as an empty generator than the strange return yield that I saw before. Return yield had me scratching my head. This, it's like yield from an empty object. We're obviously going to get an empty generator from this. And so I feel like this is much more clear, and this is how I'm going to write this pattern moving forward. Anyway, I hope you found this useful. If there are additional things you would like me to explain, leave a comment below or reach out to me on the various platforms. But thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.